Hello, I'm your host, Katie Berg, and welcome to our second segment of Hoods, Wicker Park Edition. In our last episode, we explored the maze of the Flatiron Building and its wonderful treasures. Now we look at a different way people express themselves, fashion. The appeal of thrift stores has been rapidly increasing amongst college students looking to find their own unique style. Wicker Park veterans like Vintage Underground and Coco Rococo have occupied the neighborhood for years, and they each specialize in clothes and jewelry from different decades.
I started really being interested in vintage back in the 70s, and I was interested in some 1950s style, and I started collecting some vintage photography. But Carlos, who is like the brainchild of the store, who found the space, he and his wife have been vintage collectors, antique dealers, and have amassed a great vintage jewelry collection. Between the two of us, just liked a lot of different vintage things, and so here we are. Carlos, the owner, does the main part of the buying, and he travels. He goes to auctions, and we buy estates. We like to mainly have designer pieces by well-known vintage jewelry designers or newer designers, things that are in good condition, and things like that, but we really do accept a broad range of styles. It's like you can come here and sometimes find things for $5 or $10, and you can find things for hundreds of dollars. We have everything from like sterling silver, copper, total costume jewelry, 1980s, 1940s. Well, this location here on North Avenue was our first location, which we opened around 8 years ago. And our second location is 1507 North Milwaukee. That store also has a great collection of clothes, more than here, and some really fantastic jewelry too. There's some people who dress almost exclusively in vintage or resale clothes, and jewelry, but lots of times people who aren't even familiar with vintage, they get recommended to come find either wedding jewelry or special event jewelry, and then they get turned on to it, and then they return because they know they can get something different, not that something everybody else has.
Now today in the studio we have Elise Featheringill, a fashion major here at Columbia. Today she'll be showing us outfits you can create based on the treasures that you can find from thrift stores in Wicker Park. Thank you so much for coming in, Elise, and what do you have to show us here?
Well, first we have our first model, Cedric, and he is sporting a 20s look.
Alrighty, okay.
He has the suspenders are his own, which have movie clips on them, which are very 20s, and his shoes are his own, and his pants and his shirt and his hat, he got at a thrift store in Wicker Park for around $30. And the 20s style is definitely coming back in, so this is something that is very big at Columbia and is definitely supporting the 20s look.
Are we seeing a lot more of the suspenders look?
Yeah, suspenders are the first thing to really come back in this era, from this era.
And are you a constant thrift store shopper, Cedric?
Oh yeah.
All the time?
All the time.
Okay, cool. What suggestions do you have for guys looking for this look?
I would definitely suggest for guys to keep going more towards this look. I feel like it's a very manly and like sophisticated look, so I definitely am in favor of it.
And you can find this at Wicker Park, at the thrift stores. Those are places guys can go to? Cool. Can you just give us one last little strut for us, Cedric? Show us what you're working with. Awesome. Okay, I love those suspenders. I need to find me some. Is it okay if girls wear them? Is that all right? Is that it?
I don't know if when we're in that.
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, well, thank you so much, Cedric. Okay, now we have our next model, Erin, right?
Yes, Erin is supporting a 50s look.
Okay.
The dress and the jewelry she got from a thrift store in Wicker Park. The dress was around $20, and the necklace and bracelet were $5. And she paired them with her own shoes.
Okay, and this is at Coco Rococo?
Yes, Coco Rococo.
Okay, and do you have a preference over Coco Rococo or Underground?
I would say Coco Rococo is one of my favorites.
I think like the name.
I think this is I think it's more towards the name. I think this look is really cool, and you're definitely seeing it come back more with at first with art students, going for that classy 50s look.
So guys are going 20s and women are going 50s.
Yeah.
Always a step ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you just give us a little strut, Erin? Show us what's the dress, do a little spin. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erin. Alrighty, who else we got over here? Haley? Definitely fast forwarding.
Yes, Haley is repping a 90s look. She has a scrunchie and a vest that were from a Wicker Park thrift store, and then she has a gray paired with her gray shirt, which is her own, and acid wash high-waisted jeans, which are very 90s, and she got those also at a thrift store. And then she paired them with her own combat boots to add a modern feel to it.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of the mixture of different colors. It seems very vibrant. 90s seem very over the top.
Yes.
I like it.
Colorful and jean acid wash is definitely a 90s feel.
And now who's getting into this look these days?
The jeans, about every girl around our age is definitely pulling back with the whole high-waisted
get
and
me
acid
some.
wash. Combats are definitely in for everyone, and the vest is kind of, if you're a little more out there, definitely for art students and people that are always want to be a jump ahead of everyone else. So.
Okay. All right, Haley, can you give us strut your stuff for us? Best catwalk. Thank you so much. Alrighty, Elise, now can you tell us a little bit about your outfit first?
Today I am wearing all bargain clothes. I got these shoes for about $7, this vest for about $20, the shirt for probably about $5. So I'm definitely always looking for good deals and never wanting to spend more than a sale item. So
Do you go shopping a lot in Wicker Park?
Wicker Park, thrift stores, anything really like local, I really like those kind of stores. So.
And are they popping up, you say? Is there more thrift stores that are coming up in Wicker
Yes.
Park?
Wicker Park is definitely always a jump ahead of everyone else, and with thrift stores being so big right now, they're blooming like crazy.
And do you have any advice for college students out there who are thrifting?
I would definitely say keep thrifting. Thrifting is definitely what's in, and if you want to be a jump ahead of everyone else, I think that's like your best bet.
And Underground Vintage and Coco Rococo are the places to go
Yes,
to?
main
Right. Is there
ones.
any other ones that you know of?
There's Vintage, which is another thrift store, and there's a couple other ones that are in the outskirts of the city, which are really good.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, let's bring out the models just so we can take a look at them, go through them one more time, make sure everyone can see what we're working with. Alrighty, so we got Cedric, 20s, Erin, the 50s, and Haley, the 90s. So it seems like college students these days, we're not in today's era. We're taking it back.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elise, for being here. Thank you, the models. You guys look beautiful. You look beautiful as well. Alrighty, now exploring the theme of their stores, we have Coco Rococo that will make you feel nostalgic and bring you back to your childhood.
When I was in college, I just had this joke that if I was a drag queen, my name would be Miss Coco Rococo. When we opened the store, we decided to use that name. And then these Japanese tourists came in and they told us that Coco Rococo means heart is here. And I was like, thank God it doesn't mean like, you know, fuck your mother or something. I don't know. Like it could mean something really horrible. Coco Rococo is a vintage clothing store. We specialize in 80s and 90s. We're really specific to the time period. I had been working as a photo stylist, and then the economy crashed, and all of my clients kind of like just disappeared or went out of business. And I just was kind of like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make money? And they're kind of always talked about opening a store, and then when I didn't have a job, I was kind of like, all right, we're gonna do this now, because like, I won't, like, you know, what else am I gonna do? So we just found a storefront and we started collecting things. And we're like, I guess we're gonna make it 80s and 90s because that doesn't exist yet, and like that's what we love. We would tell people that that's what we were about to do, and they would like laugh. Because they're like, 90s? Gosh, that's not vintage. And I'd be like, no, you're just old. Like, so yeah, so it was fun because it's like our favorite time period, and we just like would remember back to like our childhood and what we wore and stuff. And we were kind of like, oh, we're experts in this, and we didn't even know it because we just like liked it so much. I like thank goodness for our customers because I've worked in other places where every other person who walks in, you're like, oh my goodness, you know, or like, oh, they're really high maintenance, or they're like crazy or whatever. But we get a pretty steady stream of like young college-age students, younger artists. So like lots of people just stopping in, and usually they're really into the store, and you know, because we have like an online presence, I always like encourage them to check us out online.
As you saw in this episode, vintage is still prominent in today's culture and isn't going anywhere. Be sure to tune in again at 11:30 for another segment of Hoods Wicker Park Edition. Until next time, I'm your host, Katie Berg, and thank you for watching.